There's the whole audience. Brooke. Hi, I'm Robert Kilgore. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, 37,000 deaths occurred in 2016 related to car accidents. But in 2014 to 2018, a span of 4 years, 4 times as long as 2016, only one accident was caused by a self-driving car. How many times have you been in a car and you may be with someone that you trust and you may know that they're a good driver, but you don't always exactly feel safe? You may just not feel in control, or you may even just feel like it's not safe to be out driving. It could be because of the weather conditions, or it could just be you don't feel safe right then. I know I've been that way before, and it's not that I don't trust the person or think they're a bad driver. It's just it's inherently dangerous to be in a car. Many Americans drive every day. I don't know about you guys, but I've got my keys right here, and I drove here. How many of you guys drove here? Yeah, most of you drove here. So you drive every day. Most people don't bike, they don't walk, and you're always encountering that danger. But what if you could almost get rid of that danger? Self-driving cars can help us to get rid of that. Today I'd like to talk about the benefits and help ease some of the fears that people have about them. The benefits will always outweigh the negatives. A lot of people like to try to dismiss them or say it won't work because there's a lot of negatives. A lot of people don't see some of the positives. There would be way less accidents. Think about the times that you've maybe been distracted while driving, not even necessarily texting or in your phone or something, but you're just sitting there and your mind wanders, or you're staring at something for too long than you should have, or maybe you're passing an accident and you're wondering what happened with that accident, wondering if there's something you should be watching out for, but you're not even looking in the right place, and that could cause an accident. Cars also just make less mistakes. You don't have to worry about, a car not having enough time to think. They'll always have better reaction times. You cannot beat a computer in reaction times. It's fractions of light speed that a computer moves at, but a human could never even match that, not just with their physical reflexes, but with the time it takes you to think about the decision you want to make. It would also lead to better travel experiences. With safer driving, we could have less safety restrictions in a thing. You wouldn't necessarily have to wear a seatbelt or have to have the seats facing the way they do, or worry about the airbags and sitting properly in your seat, because the odds of being in a car wreck would be almost zero and we wouldn't have to worry about it. Think about, if you had a paper due, or you're doing something, or there's something you could be doing in the car and you don't do it because you don't have anywhere to write, or you don't have anywhere to set up a laptop, and it's just inconvenient to work in the car. But you could do that. And if you were normally the driver, like I normally don't ride with people, I'm normally driving myself everywhere. And so that would save me a lot of time, because a car would just be driving me somewhere while I could take care of what I got to take care of. Not only that, but we could just cut down on the amounts of drive time. Without having human error, you could go at faster speeds with less stoplights and stop signs to worry about those human errors that we make sure that we're driving safely. We could have the self-driving cars not worry about that. Safety and comfort will always allow for better travel, but that doesn't mean that there aren't a few problems with it. There's more benefits, but a lot of people will let their concerns outweigh those, and no matter if there's 1,000 benefits and just one tiny little concern, oftentimes people will let that stand in their way for a reason why not to accept it. A lot of people think that technology will just never be there, but technology is growing exponentially. The better our computers are, the better our computers can help us to make better technology. Think about, 10, 20 years ago, we couldn't even imagine the kind of things that we have now. It was crazy to, just a little while ago to have phones, but now we have phones in our pocket that can do anything that a computer can do, something that, you didn't even have in state-of-the-art labs, but now it's something 5, 6, 7 times more powerful in our own pockets. Lots of the best minds in the world are working on solving these problems today, and they won't be released to the public until they're ready. Currently, the only way to have a self-driving car is if you're a company and you get the permits to be testing it. They're not just going to release these like willy-nilly. A lot of people only have experience with consumer electronics. Your phone, it glitches, it does this, but that's not life or death. Things that are life or death, they take care of. They make sure that they work, and they work right every time. But if that app on your phone or Instagram doesn't open up, that's not life or death. It's an inconvenience, but that's something that they're trying to make money off of, and they have to get released on deadlines. Also, people worry about hacking, but hacking is a lot of the media scaring us. The odds of something like that happening specifically to you are low. But especially for something like this, it would be so difficult because of all the redundancies that would have to be in place that it just wouldn't be worth it. The punishment for doing something like it and the reward for actually successfully getting it to go down would not be anywhere equal near to the effort. Nothing is unhackable, so the goal to make something unhackable is to make it so inconvenient that it's not worth it for anybody. And safety nets or redundancies could be installed so that even if one safety measure fails, there's always another one to back it up. So problems can be fixed. We can't just say there's a problem so we give up. We always have to continue. And one section of problems we have are the ethics of it all. Say you're driving down the road and an accident is going to happen. Someone's walking across the street. What does the car do? Because the car would have the chance to make those decisions. If the car knows if I veer off to the left, it's going to kill everybody in the car, or it can know that it's going to have to kill a pedestrian. What would it do? Some people say, the people in the car have given up their right to make that decision for the better travel or the safer travel option. So it should be the people in the car that get to continue because they've chosen the safest option they can, so they don't get to make the decision of what happens anymore. But some people say, it comes down to age or the amount of people. If you have 3 or 4 babies in the back of a car and it's an older person walking across the street, they've lived their life, but you have 4 people that haven't even had a chance to begin theirs. And that same argument can go for the pedestrian. What if it's a group of people walking across the street, but there's, one middle-aged person in the car? Who does it pick? Should we even try to make those decisions? And then the people that are walking, they didn't choose the risks and the dangers of driving. They chose to walk because maybe it's safer or maybe that's how they feel. So why should we impose our dangers onto them whenever we're the ones who have gotten in the car and chosen to take the risk? This is just one of many dilemmas that we have with it all, but it can be solved just like other things. There's been other situations in life that we had ethical dilemmas or even just regular problems with, and we always have to overcome them or else we won't grow as a species anymore. Self-driving cars are the future, and they could possibly be here very soon. So we need to start to think about these problems and get people more used to them. Think about next time you're in the car. I want you to stop and think about how much safer you would feel if you knew that the person had no chance of making an accident, whether it be you that's driving or someone else, that there is just absolutely no chance of an accident occurring. If we don't accept self-driving cars now, we'll all be worse off for it.